See, you are finding, see, first topic, first subdivision of the question is you are supposed to draw this structure better. Okay. So first is, part of the question we have been asked is structure of cholesterol molecule. Okay. So we are supposed,
What's the page number, ma'am?
this here it is 310 better.
Okay, ma'am.
I don't know, like, because editions, if they change usually, page numbers also will differ. So please
Yes.
this picture, okay? So this is the structure of cholesterol. Molecular formula is C27H46 and O. Okay? Then, so now coming to the cholesterol, cholesterol is exclusively found in animals, isn't it? That's why it is called as animal fat or animal cholesterol. Okay, then see, basically the normal values will be seen at the end of the book. Cover page will be there, no? If you open there, usually you will have. Okay, now for the functions of cholesterol, you have this list here. So what are the functions? Many hormones are basically synthesized from cholesterol only. Can you name few hormones? Estrogen, progesterone, androgens, testosterone. All these are steroid hormones. Even, see, cholesterol is essential for life as it performs number of important functions. Cholesterol is precursor for the synthesis of other steroids in the body, like steroid hormones, what I have listed, estrogen, progesterone, and also testosterone. Now, 125 dihydroxycholecalciferol, which is active form of vitamin D, that is also cholesterol. So it is essential ingredient in the structure of lipoproteins. What are lipoproteins? Lipids in combination with proteins, we call them as lipoproteins, isn't it? So we have HDL, LDL, VLDL, chylomicrons. They are also made up of, like, one of the composition element we have is cholesterol. Okay. And then fatty acids are transported to the liver in the form of cholesterol esters. Cholesterol esters are again nothing but a form of lipoproteins only, in the form of which usually the fatty acids are transported for the purpose of breakdown, for the production of energy, that is oxidation. So for cholesterol biosynthesis, we have a cycle beta. This is very important essay question. Frequently we have this question being asked. Okay, so we have to learn this cycle. So for any cycle, generally we need not learn the structure. So here what you are finding, two acetyl-CoA molecules, they are joining in the presence of thiolase to form acetoacetyl-CoA. So acetoacetyl-CoA in the presence of HMG-CoA synthase, it forms beta-hydroxy, beta-methyl-glutaryl-CoA, HMG-CoA. Okay, now HMG-CoA reductase enzyme is converting HMG-CoA to mevalonate. Mevalonate kinase is converting it to 5-phosphomevalonate. 5-phosphomevalonate in the presence of phosphomevalonate kinase, it is phospho in the sense here one phosphate group is being added. Here initially you are finding one phosphate. Here you are finding one more phosphate because the enzyme here ATP is now being converted to ADP in the presence of magnesium. Mevalonate to phosphomevalonate also one ATP is utilized. 5-phosphomevalonate to pyro means what? One phosphate is added, one more. So pyrophosphomevalonate. So next step what you are seeing here is from again see one more phosphate is being added by the utilization of one more ATP molecule. See, so that's how one is here, one is here, and one is here. So you call it as in third position 3-phospho. These are two in fifth position. 5-pyrophosphomevalonate. So in the presence of this enzyme pyrophosphomevalonate decarboxylase, you are finding it is getting converted to isopentenyl pyrophosphate. Okay, then after that, you will see it is converted to dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate and also geranyl pyrophosphate. I have a code better for this, you can note down. Farnesyl pyrophosphate, from there you will see squalene. In the presence of squalene synthesis, so many oxidation reduction processes are going on. Finally, from squalene, we have lanosterol. From lanosterol, we have cholesterol. Okay, that is the final synthesis of cholesterol where we have 27 carbon atoms. C27, we have just seen the structure. So half of the cycle what you see generally comes with ketone bodies like acetyl CoA. We will do, actually we have done also. So acetyl CoA plus acetyl CoA, acetoacetyl CoA, like that we had. These steps we have seen with ketogenesis and ketolysis, isn't it? Now, there is a code from here beta, from isopentenyl pyrophosphate. I don't give charity, still I don't give funds but still love charity better. That is the code. I is isopentenyl pyrophosphate. D is dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate. I don't give geranyl pyrophosphate. Give, I don't give funds. Farnesyl pyrophosphate. I don't give funds. Still love charity. Squalene, lanosterol, and cholesterol. Still love charity. So, like few things like this will help us to recollect the steps easily. Okay, so that is the we have synthesis, then fate. We will see the fate. See here, this is regulation, and here we have fate. Fate in the sense that is the degradation of cholesterol. So once the cholesterol is formed and it will be utilized in the body, so cholesterol is now in the presence of 7-alpha hydroxylase, it is converted to 7-hydroxycholesterol. So see, through series of steps, it is converted to cholic acid and chenodeoxycholic acid. So we have here cholic acid to this glycine. If glycine is added, it is converted to glycocholic acid. If taurine is added, it is converted to taurocholic acid. And in the presence of intestinal bacteria, it is converted to deoxycholic acid. So similarly, we have chenodeoxycholic acid, same amino acids, taurine and glycine to form taro. Here we had was glycocholic acid. Here you will have taro or glycochenodeoxycholic acid. Suffix is like prefix only will change, suffix will be chenodeoxycholic acid. You have to add taro or glyco. Okay. Again, in the with the help of intestinal bacteria, it will be converted to lithocholic acid. That means the cholesterol is finally degraded to bile acids. Okay, in the lumen of intestines. So bile juice, bile acids. So what is the function of bile juice? Emulsification of fat. So that bile juice also contains what? Cholesterol. Okay, that is. So one more thing, like I told you, many like steroid hormones are synthesized from cholesterol, like cortisol. From where is the cortisol coming? From the adrenal cortex, isn't it? Aldosterone is also coming from adrenal cortex. Estradiol is a hormone. Actually, it can also come from adrenal cortex, also comes from the ovary, isn't it? So these are the adrenal cortical hormones. These are all steroid hormones. That means through series of steps, cholesterol will be converted to pregnenolone, then progesterone, and then you have cortisol, aldosterone, and estradiol. Okay. I told you synthesis of vitamin D. What is the active form of vitamin D called as? Anybody remembers?
1,25 dihydroxycholecalciferol.
Very good. 125 dihydroxycholecalciferol. What is the another name?
Calcitriol.
Very good. Very good. Calcitriol. Okay. So structure, synthesis, fate, clinical significance. So these are the components under which we have to. So under clinical significance, what will you write? So we have to write about hypercholesterolemia. See, normally the first subdivision of the question was what is the normal serum cholesterol? How much is the normal serum? 150 to 200 milligrams per deciliter. Okay, in healthy individuals. And of course, in newborns, it is like 100 milligram per deciliter or something like that we have. Okay, so transport form of cholesterol, I already told you we have LDL, VLDL, and HDL. Okay, so we have few techniques here explained, not required, but you should talk about clinical significance in the sense hypercholesterolemia. Emia in the sense blood, isn't it? Hyper means more. That means if the blood cholesterol level is exceeding the normal range, that is more than 200 milligrams per deciliter, then you call it as hypercholesterolemia. Normal range was how much? 150 to 200. So if it is exceeding 200 mg, then you call it as hypercholesterolemia. So generally we see this condition in case of diabetes mellitus, isn't it? So diabetes mellitus, generally we have type 1 and type 2 diabetes, no? Type 1 is the one which is, see, in case of type 1, usually type 2 diabetes, if it is not controlled, it is dangerous. What is type 1? By birth itself, if insulin is not released and throughout the life, if they are dependent on insulin, you call it as type 1. Type 2 in the sense, they are obese and they are having most of the sedentary life, because of which you will see the glucose is unable to reach the tissues because of the deficiency of insulin. Insulin is released, but the amount of body mass is more and it will not be allowed to move to the glucose will not be allowed to move to the target cells because of the deficiency of insulin. Not absence of release, only deficiency is type 2. Absence of insulin is type 1. So in whether it is type 1 or type 2, if it is not controlled, see, basically you should remember one fact, like insulin plus glucose, they together go to target tissues. If insulin is not there, glucose will remain in the blood. But how the tissue will survive? If glucose is going, then only ATP will be produced, isn't it? Energy will be generated. But poor thing is, if tissues are not receiving glucose, they will start utilizing fats for the purpose of generation of ATP. In an act of production of ATP from other non-carbohydrate sources, what happens if fat is utilized, then you will see the end products like ketone bodies. Isn't it? That's the reason you will see ketonemia, ketonuria, diabetic ketoacidosis. So during this act only, you will see the cholesterol levels also will be increased more in the blood due to excessive mobilization. Okay, that's how you will see in diabetes mellitus due to increased cholesterol synthesis. Why? Because glucose is unable to reach the target tissues. Okay, that is one of the reasons you see in case of hypercholesterolemia. We require normal hormones like thyroid hormones also. That's the reason you see hypothyroid people, how they are better. They are very much obese, whereas hyperthyroid people, they will be very much lean. I'm unable to see, the page is folded. Ritika, can you help me with what is written here?
Yes, ma'am.
Third point is what?
Uh, Obstructive jaundice.
Okay, obstructive jaundice in the sense. So we know like bile juice is also made up of what? Cholesterol. Suppose if it is not released into the blood circulation, if it is obstructed in the common bile duct, there may be gallstones, isn't it? There may be tumors in the common bile duct, because of which bile juice is not emptying into the duodenum. So what is happening? That bile juice, that cholesterol and all will be reabsorbed back into the blood circulation, because of which again cholesterol levels will rise. Okay, that is one thing, beta. What is the other thing it is written, beta? Obstructive jaundice, Ritika, other than that?
Nephrotic syndrome.
Okay. Nephrotic syndrome also, like you can...
Nephrotic syndrome, ma'am.
Okay, nephrotic syndrome. Many diseases are given, beta. Atherosclerosis. There also you will see cholesterol will be remaining in the blood circulation, because of which in the blood vessels it starts getting deposited. You have two conditions, no? Atherosclerosis and arteriosclerosis. If the lumen of the blood vessels is getting the deposits of cholesterol like heaps, the lumen of blood vessel gets obstructed. That condition is atherosclerosis, isn't it? Suppose if the elasticity of blood vessels is lost, then you call it as arteriosclerosis. Many things are given. You need not tell so many also, but good amount of discussion we have done here, beta. That is enough for your essay. Okay. So bad cholesterol, good cholesterol in the sense, always you remember, I told you transport form of cholesterol is HDL, LDL, VLDL, chylomicrons. So HDL is considered as good cholesterol because it has high concentration of protein and less amount of fat. That is the reason it is called as good cholesterol. LDL, VLDL, they will have high amount of fat and low amount of protein. This we will do as a separate question. Anyhow, there is one table which gives the proportion of how much amount of protein is there, how much amount of lipid is there, with the help of which we will nicely discuss. Okay, beta? So that is. Anyhow, lipoprotein will come as 5 marks as we proceed with the following papers, definitely somewhere. Okay, this answer is clear, beta. We have done with cholesterol now. Now we are going with vitamins. I think it is page number 259, Ritika. 259.
Okay, ma'am.
Huh. So second question is sulfur containing vitamins. Can anybody name? Chavi? Imad? Fast.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you list the sulfur containing vitamins better?
Cysteine and methionine.
Very good. Cysteine and methionine. Any other vitamin? 57. Biotin, does it contain sulfur? Check. Which textbook you are following, Imad?
So, Satyanarayan, ma'am.
हाँ सत्यनारायण. Chavi, which textbook beta?
What, ma'am?
Which textbook are you following beta?
Satyanarayan, ma'am.
Nice, very good. So all of us have Satyanarayana only. It's very nice. So we can prevent that bias. Okay, beta. Sulfur containing, I also remember biotin also is one of the vitamin beta. Okay. So it's better we check the list with the help of internet also. So page number is in from my 259 is one. And we need to give the list of sulfur containing vitamins. Scrolling pages is easy better than scrolling this up. This is such a great torture, you know, like it will not move fast only. This is metabolism.
Ma'am, instead
What is
you,
page number? Yes, better. Yes, please.
Ma'am, on the right side, you can see that button, no? If you just move your mouse to that
Today my
slider on the
mouse
right
is
side.
not working.
Okay, your mouse is not working. Okay.
Today, like yesterday, heavy rain, no? So it got drenched, some problem.
Okay. If you just press on that thing and slide it down, it will work. It will
Yeah,
go.
today though it is really difficult. Okay, fine. Vitamins, please take out the page number and tell me, no? I'm fine. 146, is it 146 better? Vitamins?
Yes, ma'am.
Better. Please check sulfur containing vitamins.
146 vitamins.
Biotin, you check better. Pyridoxine, biotin. One we will elaborate because he is asking us to elaborate one.
Yes, ma'am. Biotin is a sulfur containing B complex vitamin.
Okay, beta. Check pyridoxine beta once, please. Thiamine also. Biotin we will elaborate. Okay.
Ma'am, pyridoxine is on page number 143.
Check if its structure is containing sulfur beta. Structure will be drawn, no?
No, ma'am. It doesn't have sulfur.
Okay, fine. So check thiamine once.
Page number 135.
Even pantothenic acid is sulfur containing vitamin beta. You have to just check the structure. Okay, make a note. Okay, biotin is containing. Okay, see the structure of pantothenic acid. Even this contains sulfur. Okay, just I even see this one. This is biotin only, I guess. We will elaborate on biotin. Okay, because biotin is the chief thing which generally is considered under sulfur containing vitamin. Okay, so like that you prepare the list. Okay. So how do you check? Just please check structures like this. Anyhow, sulfur will be given in a different color. You can easily trace. Okay. Scrolling this page is difficult. That's the reason I'm asking you, better please. Okay. Then, so here what we are asked is, generally structure of any vitamin won't be asked. So don't strain yourself unnecessarily learning the structure better. Okay. So then we are just asked the biochemical functions. Okay. So suppose if chemistry part is asked, basically biotin is also known as anti-egg white injury factor. That means this is a thing which is found in raw egg white. Okay. So that means this is the source egg white, raw egg white. Generally we see this biotin. So chemistry, so biotin is heterocyclic sulfur containing monocarboxylic acid. Structure is formed by the fusion of, this is one imidazole ring, this is thiophene ring. So both of them are generally bound together. Okay. So much is not required. Nobody will ask you this. But functions are of course very, very important. Okay. What are the functions of biotin? Okay. So it is helping in, see, it is a coenzyme involved in various metabolic reactions, like it helps in gluconeogenesis. That means in many of the reactions wherever biotin word is used, that means what? It is acting as coenzyme. What is the meaning of coenzyme? That means it is helping the enzyme to work more efficiently. That means in the presence of biotin, the normal enzyme will work more efficiently to convert the substrate into the product. Okay, that is the meaning of coenzyme. So what are the various coenzyme functions it has? One is gluconeogenesis and citric acid cycle. In this cycle, we require biotin. What is gluconeogenesis? Formation of glucose from non-carbohydrate source. Like from the lipid, from the protein, if you see, then you call it as gluconeogenesis. What happens in citric acid cycle? What is the last thing you have in glycolysis, breakdown of glucose? Last one will be pyruvate or lactate.
Pyruvic acid.
Or lactate, very good. Pyruvate in aerobic conditions, lactate in anaerobic conditions. So that from pyruvate will become the first substrate in citric acid cycle, no? So citric acid cycle,
Yes,
so that means citric acid cycle is designed to produce more and more ATPs. So during these two cycles also you will see generally biotin is utilized, okay, as a coenzyme. The conversion of pyruvate to oxaloacetate. There you will see biotin is acting as coenzyme and the name of enzyme is pyruvate carboxylase. Okay, beta, like that you have its functions. Fatty acid synthesis also we require biotin. So acetyl-CoA for this conversion to malonyl-CoA. Propionyl-CoA to the conversion of methyl-malonyl-CoA. Okay. So biotin is acting as coenzyme. Though enzyme is present, but still you will see biotin is acting as coenzyme for the conversion of many substrates into the products. Just try to learn the formulas and put the things in your own words. Okay, beta? That is. So biotin is also acting as a carrier of carbon dioxide molecule. See here, see, serves as a carrier of carbon dioxide in carboxylation reaction. What do you mean by carboxylation? Suppose in this structure, if this carbon dioxide COO has to be added, generally biotin is acting as a transport media. Okay, so that's what is carboxylation reaction. So basically the enzyme which is utilized here is pyruvate carboxylase. So this has been elaborated and this picture is here. Okay, biotin plus pyruvate carboxylase is the enzyme here. You can see carbon dioxide, they are combining and here ATP is utilized, okay, which is converted to ADP plus high energy phosphate to form carboxybiotin enzyme complex. Okay, to this pyruvate is added to form oxaloacetate. So this is one of the steps what we see during citric acid cycle also. Okay, formation of oxaloacetate. No, then after this, what is the RDA? That will be always asked. Requirement is asked. How much do we require in day? 100 to 300 milligrams. Okay. So what are the sources of biotin we have? We have both in animal and plant foods. So like in liver, kidney, egg yolk, milk, tomatoes and grains. Okay. Then deficiency symptoms. So generally biotin deficiency will cause anemia, loss of appetite. What is appetite? You don't feel like eating. Okay. Nausea. You will have some vomiting sensation. Dermatitis. Thickening and roughening of the epidermis of the skin. Glossitis. What is glossitis? Tongue becomes
Inflammation of
swollen.
tongue.
Yeah, inflammation of tongue.
So tongue swollen up.
Okay. So biotin deficiency is also leading to depression. That means it is helping in the normal functioning of CNS. Depression, hallucinations, muscle pain, dermatitis. Okay, beta? So all these. So whenever we are taking antibiotics also, we should be very careful to replace. Generally, you will see whenever we are taking antibiotics again, Sporolac, have you heard about this medication, beta? Usually we give in small children, Sporolac sachets. Whenever they are suffering with gastroenteritis, again we do this Sporolac treatment. Why? We want to regenerate the intestinal flora, because intestinal flora is also very important in regenerating many. It is helping in the synthesis of many B complex vitamins. One such B complex vitamin is our biotin also. Okay, it is supplied by intestinal bacteria. Intestinal flora is very important. That's why we should not take so many antibiotics also. The normal natural flora which is found in the intestines, it will be damaged. And this is actually very important for the synthesis of many B complex vitamins like biotin. Okay. So what are the common antibiotics which will destroy this? Sulfonamides. Okay. Actually, raw egg should not be consumed because raw egg will have antibiotin factor. That means it will kill the biotin. It will prevent the absorption of biotin. It will prevent the synthesis of biotin in the intestinal mucosa. Previously, in the olden days, to build up muscle, usually people used to drink raw milk, have raw egg, and all those practices were there, but it is not at all safe. Now, though, so many bacteria, new viruses are coming up, so we should never take such risk. Okay, beta? So then we have antagonist. What is antagonist? That means a chemical which is working against the vitamin, like for example biotin. You don't want biotin to get reabsorbed in our intestinal mucosa. Already lot of biotin is there. Then we generally give this antagonist. Okay. So what are the various we have? Desthiobiotin, biotin sulfonic acid, or biotin antagonist. Sometimes question comes for 3 marks. Vitamin antagonist. Antagonist means they work against vitamins. Okay, they will not allow the action of vitamins to take place. Those are antagonists. Okay, so that's how we have finished 2 essays with us. One was cholesterol and the other is sulfur containing vitamins. Please give me the list and post it in our group. And biotin we have elaborated. Imad, you go to page 274. Ritika, you go to page 202. Check for methemoglobin.
1 second.
274, 202. Chavi, you also keep checking better. Methemoglobin.
Yes, ma'am, it's on page 202.
No, it's 202. Okay, thank you, better. What is given under methemoglobin, beta? Keep reading for yourself.
What, ma'am?
Start reading about methemoglobin till I go to the textbook.
I'm page number 274.
You found methemoglobin there? Maybe your edition may be different, beta. I'm not sure.
Here, HMP pathway is given.
Okay, leave it. Anyhow, if you are having the same edition, we have methemoglobin is discussed in page number 202. Okay, hemoglobin derivatives. Okay, Ritika, because our editions are same,
Yes,
please go to 274 once. Check if more information is given.
Yes, ma'am. I'll check.
274.
No, ma'am, HMP shunt,
Okay, leave it.
all
leave
those
it.
is there.
Okay. So first of all, hemoglobin derivatives. Basically, where do we find hemoglobin? We find hemoglobin inside the RBC. We know hemoglobin is basically very important for the transport of oxygen to the tissues.
Ma'am, what's the question, ma'am?
Methemoglobin, beta. Just methemoglobin.
Okay, ma'am.
I'm giving introduction first. Hemoglobin, it is found inside the RBC. It has 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chains, isn't it? So these are actually responsible for the transport of oxygen molecule. We know the normal lifespan of RBC is 120 days, out of which, after which it will be basically broken down to heme plus globin, isn't it? That heme part, globin is anyhow protein, it will be again recycled in our body for the function of proteins, and heme part will be broken down through series of steps. It will be actually broken down to form the bile salts and bile pigments, isn't it? So now see here, one such derivative. See, hemoglobin combines with different ligands and forms hemoglobin derivatives. The normal blood, basically hemoglobin combines with what, beta? Oxygen to form oxygen, oxyhemoglobin.
Oxygen.
Oxyhemoglobin, isn't it? And once it is going to the tissues, it is just giving up its oxygen to form deoxyhemoglobin. Besides this, we also have methemoglobin. So how is this methemoglobin formed? See here, hemoglobin getting converted to methemoglobin. The iron which is found in the hemoglobin is in the ferrous form, whereas the iron which is found in the methemoglobin is in ferric form. Fe plus 2 is ferrous, Fe plus 3 is ferric. Okay, so that means hemoglobin, whenever it is acted upon by the substances like hydrogen peroxide, free radicals and drugs, that will lead to the formation of this methemoglobin. Actually, methemoglobin is not good. Why it is not good? See here, as long as the iron is in ferrous state, it will be easy for the oxygen to be released to the tissues. Whereas if it is in the ferric form, the oxygen will not be allowed to generate to the, it will not be allowed to move to the tissues. Now let us see. For biological functions of hemoglobin to carry oxygen, that's what is written here. Iron should be maintained in ferrous state. Hemoglobin ferrous can be oxidized to methemoglobin. In normal circumstances, we do not have such changes like methemoglobin beta. Only when our body is exposed to radicals like H2O2 free radicals and drugs, then what happens? Instead of ferrous form, it will get converted to ferric form. Then it becomes very difficult for the hemoglobin to release oxygen to the tissues. Okay, that is. So generally for the conversion of this methemoglobin back to hemoglobin, we require this methemoglobin reductase. This is the protective enzyme. It is something like an antioxidant which will convert the methemoglobin to safe hemoglobin. Okay, in the presence of NADH plus H plus, which is converted to NAD, methemoglobin is converted back to hemoglobin. Is that clear, beta? So this is unfavorable form or unfavorable state of hemoglobin is nothing but